Peter Drucker once said that poor planning lies at the root of every failure. Acting without thinking, acting without planning lies at the root of every failure. What that means is that acting preceded by planning is the root of every success. So people say, I don't have time to plan. Many people say, I don't have time to do it right, but of course I'll have time to do it over. And it's absolutely amazing how many people spend years of their lives going around in circles when they could have accomplished extraordinary things if they had a clear written plan for each day, each week, each month, each year, and for their lives, and they just followed the plan. Here's an example. Let us say I'm going to give you a prize, and the prize is $100,000. And all you have to do is go to a blue house in your city and knock on the door and go in the house, and under the couch in the living room will be an envelope, and in that envelope will be your $100,000. So I say, okay, go get them. What's the first question you would ask? You'd say, well, what's the address? No, don't worry about the address. You just drive around in circles in this large city until you find it. Well, how far is it? Is there a map? Is there any guidance? What about the outside? What about the inside? There's thousands of blue houses in a large city. I say, well, don't worry about it. Just drive around till you find it. How long would it take you to find the right house? And the answer is probably your whole life. How long does it take most people to succeed? It takes them their whole life, and they don't make it because they drive around without a clear roadmap and without an address. When you have clear written goals and plans, you have a clear map, a clear compass, you have the right winds in your sails, and you will sail straight and true to your destination. Remember that old saying, if you don't have a goal, you're like a ship without a rudder, and a ship without a rudder never reaches port. So that's number 10, plan each week, month in advance. Step number 11 is select your number one priority for each day and start on that first. Select your most important goal for each day and start on that first. So what you do is you make a list of everything you have to do for that day, and then you ask yourself, if I could only do one thing on this list before I was called out of town for a month, what one thing would it be? And you write a 1 next to that item. Then you say, if I could only do 2 things on this list before I was called out of town for a month, what would be the second thing? And then the third thing and the fourth thing, and you put numbers by the first 7 items. And then first thing in the morning, you start on number 1. And number 12, you discipline yourself to work 100% single-mindedly on that goal. You work on your number 1 task. You ask yourself, of all the things that I could do on this list, which one activity represents the greatest value? Which one will make the greatest difference? Which one will have the most important consequences for me if I were to complete it? And then you discipline yourself to work on just that goal all day until it's done. Now, some people say, what if something else comes up? Put it aside, delay it, or come back to your goal immediately afterwards. Remember, if this is your most important goal, everything and anything else you can do, by your own admission, is a relative waste of time. It's a relative waste of time. If you can discipline yourself to keep coming back to your major goal, you'll accomplish 5 and 10 times as much as people who go from pillar to post, back and forth, from little things to big things and back again. Here's another discovery with regard to single-minded concentration. If you do a job from beginning to end, through, without stop, you will save 80% of the time that it takes you to do that job. What they have found is if you take a major task, and you start on that task, and then you stop to do something else, when you come back, you have to find out where you were, you have to refresh your memory, you have to pick up, and then you have to start again, which takes far more time than you could imagine. If you then stop the task and do something else and come back to it, you suddenly find that you have to go back into the task, find out where you were, review. And so stopping and starting a task actually takes 5 times as long to finish a task as starting the task and forcing yourself to push it all the way through. As many of you know, I write 4 books a year. I write them and I publish 4 books a year with major publishers. And I know many people who have not written 1 book in 4 years, although they mean to. Everybody means to write a book. So they say, well, how do you write so many books? And I say, well, it's very simple. There's a plan. You sit down and you follow the plan. And the things that you do is once I start to write the book, I stay at it nonstop until the first draft is finished. And I've learned that other people who are very prolific writers who write multiple books do exactly the same thing. They clear their schedule completely for 3 or 4 or 5 days, and then they just simply write nonstop until the basic outline of the book is complete. By the way, if there's anybody out there who's interested in writing a book, people ask me over and over again if I would write down how it is I write so many books so quickly, if I would write down the plan, all right, in order, priority, sequence. So I did. I wrote it down and I put it on my website. It's with my free newsletters and it's free. If you've ever thought of writing a book, go there, download the instructions on how to write a book, and take step 1 and follow the plan until it's complete. And I will see you on the New York Times bestseller list in a few years. Okay, that's number 12. Discipline yourself to work single-mindedly, to concentrate, and to stay on your most important task until it's complete. This brings us to number 13. Number 13 is to visualize. Now, what we have found is that your ability to visualize or to imagine your goal as accomplished is one of the most powerful faculties that the human mind has. In your subconscious mind, there is a mechanism that begins to orient your life toward your mental pictures. In fact, if you feed a new mental picture into your mind of something that you want to be or do or have, your mind goes to work to bring it into reality. Your subconscious mind passes off this picture to your superconscious. Your superconscious mind then works 24 hours a day to bring it into reality. And here's our discovery. The greater clarity you have with regard to the goal that you want to achieve, the faster you achieve that goal. The faster you move toward the goal, and the faster the goal moves toward you. But the fuzzier you are about the goal, the longer the process takes, and sometimes it takes a lifetime. So when you visualize, you close your eyes, you take a deep breath, and you imagine what the goal would look like if it was complete. Imagine what the goal would look like if it was perfect in every way. For example, let us say you want to have a great body. Well, go through a magazine and find someone who's got a great body in a bathing suit and put that picture with your picture glued on their face on the front of your refrigerator or in your bathroom mirror or someplace where you can see it on a regular basis. Feed your mind the picture of yourself as physically perfect as you can possibly be. And so what happens is your subconscious mind sees that picture and it begins to adjust your appetite, your habits, your exercise schedule. It begins to give you the inner drive and discipline to make that picture your reality. If you want to drive a beautiful car, the very first thing you do is go down to the dealership and test drive the car. Drive it around the block a few times. Feel it, smell it, change the gears, move the steering wheel, adjust the controls. Get a copy of the brochure. Take pictures of that vehicle and put them all over your house. Just imagine yourself owning that vehicle. I had a friend who wanted a brand new BMW, but he was unemployed, and he was driving a junker, if you like. So he began going once a week, every Saturday, down to the BMW dealership to test drive the new BMW. They got tired of seeing him, I can tell you this. But he did it every single Saturday. He went down and took it for a test drive. In the course of that year, he got a job where he got some skills. Then he lost the job, got a second job, which didn't work out, got a third job, which was ideal for him, and he did extremely well. In the middle of December of that year, he walked into the dealership and bought a new BMW. He had bought the money, he'd attracted the resources. It's the most amazing darn thing. When my wife and I decided we wanted to get a dream house, what we did is we made a list of everything we wanted in our perfect house, and then we went out to the open houses in the best homes in the best neighborhoods in the city. Every weekend we went out and we looked at beautiful homes. And we looked at the balconies and we looked at the stairways and we looked at the entranceways and the landscaping and the family rooms and the living rooms and the bedrooms and the bathrooms and the pools. And we looked at everything until we had a clear mental picture of all the things we wanted into our dream house. And then one year, 19 years ago, we walked into a house and we looked around and this was the house. It was the house we had visualized. It's the house we'd written down. It's the house we'd taken pictures of and clipped out of various magazines. It's the house we're in today. Now, does this work? Some people say, well, yeah, but what if it doesn't work? No, you nitwit. The right question is, what if it does work? What if it does work for you to sit down and write down a clear description of what you want in each part of your life? Your ideal health, your ideal lifestyle, your ideal physical well-being, your ideal partner, home, business, everything else. And then visualize and imagine. Before you go to sleep at night, create a clear mental picture of what you want to see accomplished. By the way, visualizing works both for short-term goals and long-term goals. If you have a meeting a presentation, a job interview, you have something coming up tomorrow, even a negotiation, before you go to sleep at night, visualize that negotiation coming out perfect in every way. See it absolutely perfect in every respect. And then when you go into it the next day, you'll be amazed at how well it turns out. You can have a long-term visualization for a beautiful home in the mountains or a home by the beach or for a trip to Europe. But what you do is you keep feeding your mind with pictures. And before you go to bed at night, feed your mind with pictures of what you want to see happen. Feed your mind with a beautiful picture of your goal as a reality, and then you activate all of your subconscious and superconscious powers to go to work to bring it into your life. People who visualize are absolutely astonished at how fast they achieve the things that they visualize. So that's number 13. See your goal is complete. And one extra part of visualization has to do with emotionalization. Emotionalizing means that with the mental picture, you create a feeling that you would have when you achieve the goal. For example, if you achieved a prize, you'd feel proud and happy. You'd see people smiling and clapping and applauding. If you made an enormous amount of money, you'd feel successful. You'd feel like a winner. If you won a contest, if you had the beautiful home or house or car or ideal person in your life, think of how happy you'd be. Think and experience. Actually create within yourself the emotion that would go along with that mental picture. Because a picture combined with an emotion dropped into your subconscious mind activates all your superconscious powers to work for you 24 hours a day until that goal becomes a reality. So, what do we do now? Well, we've had a long talk about goals. I'm going to give you a goal-setting exercise that you're going to do after this program. And this goal-setting exercise will change your life. I learned about this goal-setting exercise about 23 years ago. I was skeptical. I said, well, I'll give it a try, and I tried it for a month. It changed my life in ways that I just never believed. Every single person I've taught this exercise to has come back just shaking their heads and said it's so powerful, it's like pushing down a dynamite detonator. Your whole life explodes. So here's what it is. What you do when this seminar is over is you take a blank sheet of paper, and at the top of the paper you write the word goals and today's date. And then you make a list of at least 10 goals that you'd like to accomplish in the next year. And you write the goals with the 3 P's. First of all, you write them in the present tense as though you've already accomplished them, as though you already have them. So you don't say, I will earn, you say, I earn X number of dollars this year, or by such and such a date. You don't say, I will lose weight, you say, I weigh X number of pounds. Not, I will drive, but I drive a brand new BMW Series 6. In other words, you write it down as though it were already a reality. I am in a relationship with the perfect person in my life, and I am extremely happy. So you write it down in the present tense. Second of all, you make it positive. You don't say, I will quit smoking. You say, I am a non-smoker. You don't say, I will lose weight. You say, I weigh X number of pounds. And third of all, you make it personal. For the rest of your life, whenever you set a goal, you always use the word I. And you write the word I. I earn X number of dollars by such and such a date. I weigh X number of pounds. I spend such and such many days with my family each year. I sell, I earn, I achieve, I accomplish, I run, I climb, I acquire, I save. Whatever it happens to be, you start with the word I plus an action verb. The words I plus an action verb are a command from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, and they activate all your mental powers. So what you do is you write down at least 10 goals. Now you can write down more than 10. You can work on as many as 15 goals at a time. Your subconscious mind has got enough capacity, if you like, to work on as many as 15 goals, but you must have a minimum of 10, and you must sit there with that pad of paper until you have at least 10 goals. Then, once you have 10 goals, number 14, a part of this exercise, is you look over this list of goals and you ask yourself, if I could only achieve one goal on this list, which one goal would it be? If I could only achieve one goal on this list of 10, which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on my life right now? And this is one of the most important questions you ever ask. Napoleon Hill once said that a person's life begins to become great when they decide upon their major goal, their major definite purpose. Now, whichever goal you select, this becomes your major definite purpose. This is number 15. That goal becomes the organizing principle, the focal point of your life. Once you've written down a list of 10 and selected one, that goal becomes the ball carrier for all the rest of your team. That goal becomes the goal that you work on and think about every single day. When you get up in the morning, you think about that goal. Through the day, you think about that goal. You imagine, you visualize, you talk about the goal. In the evening, you visualize and imagine that goal. You write down and you plan to achieve the goal. So once you've determined this goal, you then go through the goal setting exercise that we've talked about. You write it down and make it clear, specific, and detailed. You set a deadline for the goal and you set sub-deadlines if necessary. Remember, there's no such thing as an unrealistic goal, only an unrealistic deadline. If your goal is to earn a certain amount of money, set a deadline. People say, well, what if you don't achieve it by the deadline? Then you set a new deadline. Remember, deadlines are merely guesstimates. Deadlines will often be off. Sometimes you'll accomplish the goal vastly before the deadline. Sometimes you'll accomplish it afterwards. But set a deadline. Then identify the obstacles that you'll have to overcome to achieve this major definite purpose, this number one most important goal. Say, what is it in me that is holding me back from achieving this goal right now? And look into yourself. Identify the most important obstacle. Of all the obstacles that stand in my way, what is the one obstacle that if I removed it would have the greatest positive impact? Then you identify the knowledge and skills that you will need. What knowledge will you need? What skills will you need? What will you have to become really, really good at in order to achieve that goal? What one skill, if you developed and did it in an excellent fashion, would help you the most to achieve your most important goal? Then you identify the people whose help and cooperation you will need. Your boss, your family, your customers, your bankers, your suppliers. If you're in business, by the way, sometimes forming a terrific relationship with a really good banker is the most important single thing you can do for your business. That is sometimes the thing that holds people back or makes them successful. So who is the most important person? Of all the people who can help you the most, who are the most important? Then you take these and you make a list of all the things that you'll have to do, what you want to accomplish, the steps that you'll have to take to achieve it. Organize the steps by sequence and priority. Make a plan, which is your list organized into steps from beginning to end, and then take action on your plan. And every single day you get up in the morning and you make a plan for the day, and you organize the list of your plan, and you focus on your major goal. And here's the kicker: do something every day on your major goal, 7 days a week. When you drive along, think about your goal. When you have a problem, think about your goal. When you get up in the morning and go to bed at night, think about your goal. 7 days a week, every single day, do something that moves you a little closer to the goal. Even if it's just reading a book or getting a piece of information or making a phone call or crossing the street or calling on someone, do something every day. There is a principle of success called the momentum principle. And the momentum principle of success says that it's very hard to get started on any new effort. But once you get started, it's fairly easy to keep going. For example, it may take you 10 units of energy and determination to get started on a new goal. But once you get started on the new goal, it only takes you 1 unit of energy to keep going. So that's why we say do something every day. Keep the plate spinning, keep in motion, develop momentum and maintain this momentum, and you'll go faster and faster toward your goal, and your goal will come faster and faster toward you. Now here's the exercise that we teach in our programs and which changed my life. When this course is over, get yourself a spiral notebook. It will cost you $1.59 or $1.95. Get yourself a spiral notebook, and this is going to be your goals book. And from now on, every morning when you get up, before you start off, open the book, write today's date at the top of the page, and write down your 10 goals. Write down your 10 goals in the present tense, positive, personal sense. And write down your 10 goals without looking at the previous page. Never look back to see what you wrote before. What you do is you just write down your 10 goals every single day. Now, the first time you do this, the goals will turn out a particular way. The second time, the goals will change in order of priority. The third time, the goals will change again. And you keep doing this week after week for the first month. And by the end of the first month, some goals that you wrote down the first day, you'll find that you're not writing down anymore. Other goals, you find yourself rewriting in the same words day after day. What will happen is, like cement, your goals will start to fix. You'll be able to sit down and write down your 10 goals. And what I do is I write down my 10 goals every day. When I travel, I take my spiral notebook with me. Every day I pull out my goal book and write down my 10 goals. And my promise to you is this, is that if you write down your 10 goals every single day, you'll be absolutely astonished at what happens. You'll find your life will start to move ahead faster and faster. You'll become more and more focused and streamlined. You'll be more creative and innovative. You'll be smarter. You'll come up with ideas and insights to help you to achieve your goals. And your major definite purpose becomes your ball carrier. Just like in football, the ball carrier determines the line of scrimmage. As you work on your major definite purpose, you'll find yourself making progress on all your other goals simultaneously. And pretty soon you'll achieve your goals and they'll drop off the list. And you'll write new goals on the list. And you can have as many as 15 goals, but write down 10 every single day. If you will do this for 1 month, from today to the end of the month, 30 days, my promise to you is that your life will change in ways that you cannot now imagine. You will be accomplishing more than you can even dream of. People will notice that you've become a completely different person. You have more energy, you have more motivation, you're more confident, you have more enthusiasm, your gaze is stronger, your handshake is firmer, your body language is more powerful, you get up in the morning with energy. It totally transforms your life to have a list of goals to work on. And here's the final key to goal setting, and it's the most important key of all, is back every goal with persistence and determination. Make a resolution in advance that no matter what happens, you will never quit. You may have to revise your goal over and over again. You may have to make new plans. You may have to try and try again. You may have to try 9 different things before you find the 10th thing that will win or succeed. But make a decision in advance that no matter what happens, you'll never quit. Is that you will keep on going like the Energizer Bunny. You'll keep on going and going and going. And if your goal fails completely, you'll pick yourself up, you'll brush yourself off, you'll rewrite your plans, and you will start again. Every single day, do something on your major goal, and when you get knocked down, you just say to yourself, wait a minute, I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. I can do it. I can do anything I put my mind to. And remember this final point. With regard to setting and achieving great goals, there is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. There's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. Every successful person fails over and over again on the way to achieving their goals. They learn 100 different lessons that they would never have learned if they weren't working toward a goal. The goals that you achieve and the way you achieve them will almost invariably be different from what you expected when you started out. But successful people realize that there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. So thank you very much. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you will listen to this over and over again, practice it over and over again, and that the very first thing you do is write down your 3 most important goals in life, and then get a spiral notebook and every single day write out your 10 goals. And if you do that, then write to me by email or letter, and I get hundreds and thousands of emails and letters from all over the world telling me that this 10 goal method changed their lives forever. And I hope to get that same message from you. So what we have found is this: the hallmark of superior people, 30 years of research, is how you respond to a crisis. How you deal with problems and how you respond to a crisis. And what we have found is this, is superior people look for the solution to every problem. They don't allow themselves to become upset and angry. When something goes wrong, they say, okay, what's the solution? And they become intensely solution-oriented. When you have a very intense problem, that stimulates creativity to solve the problem. So what you do is you write and define the problem clearly. If you have a problem, you say, wait a minute, what is my problem? What is it that I'm worried about? And write it down. And the very act of defining a problem clearly often triggers the solution to the problem. One last technique that I want to give you with regard to your major definite purpose. And if you only do these 2 things as a result of our time together, they will transform your life. You've already identified the one goal that can have the greatest positive impact on your life. Now what you do is you take that goal and you write it at the top of a page in the form of a question. And you say, let us say your goal is to double your income. That could have a major impact on your life. You say, what are all the things that I could do to double my income in the next 12 months? Write it as a clear question. Even better, if you're earning $50,000 a year today, write, what could I do to earn $100,000 over the next 12 months? The more specific the question, the better. Then you devote yourself to writing 20 answers to this question. You must write a minimum of 20 answers. Work harder, work smarter, start earlier, stay later, change occupations, upgrade my skills, whatever it is, keep forcing yourself to write till you've written 20 answers. We call this mindstorming. The first 3 to 5 answers will be easy. The next 3 to 5 answers will be difficult. The last 10 answers will be incredibly difficult. But I have given this exercise to people who've gone on to become millionaires so many times I've lost track. because they often find that the 20th answer changes their whole life. And if you've ever done this once, it's absolutely staggering. More people have become millionaires with this simple idea of mindstorming, what I call the 20 idea method, than any other single method of creative thinking ever discovered. Once you've got your 20 answers, pick one answer and take action on it immediately. Once you've got, it doesn't matter what it is, just take one answer and take action on it, and that will keep you thinking and acting creatively all day long. The next key to becoming a self-made millionaire is to become an unshakable optimist. An unshakable optimist means that you think and talk about what you want most of the time. Optimists think and talk about what they want. They look for the good in every situation. They seek the valuable lesson. They're constantly feeding their mind with great ideas, which opens up new perspectives. What I have found is that optimists have three wonderful qualities. Number one is they learn more things. As a result, they dramatically increase the likelihood that they will learn the right thing at the right time. Number two is they try more things, which dramatically increases the likelihood that they'll try the right thing at the right time. And number three is they persist. They never give up. Optimists make a decision that once they've decided they're going to become wealthy, they just never stop until they achieve that goal. Now, will they have many setbacks and obstacles and difficulties? Do you know that almost everybody succeeds in a different direction from what they originally intended or from what they originally thought? But they just keep going. Almost like a football player running down the field, running, blocking, changing, moving back, forward, continually, but never loses sight of the goal. So optimists learn more things, try more things, and persist longer.